Hello there, everybody. It is me, FreezerBunny, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed building video. So today we're speed building my very first build of 2017, and it is a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom family home called the Cozy Cape Cod Cottage. And that is a little bit of a mouthful. Okay, so I don't know why, but recently I've been so obsessed with New England / Cape Cod style homes, and I spent about a week collecting pictures and looking at reference images and kind of debating with myself whether I wanted to do a build for this in The Sims 4. The reason for that is because so many people have already made like a Cape Cod style house in The Sims 4. But you know what? I just had to do it. I couldn't help myself. So I tried my best to bring something new to the table and kind of explore some shapes that that not many people have really seen before in terms of the Cape Cod style, especially in the community, because it's really important for me to kind of make something unique and make something special. Even though it's a really, really common theme, I want to have my own stamp in it, and I think I was able to I think I was able to kind of figure things out to give this a little bit of a different spin on it or whatever. So there's a couple of really important things to remember about the Cape Cod style. So Cape Cod style homes are usually supposed to be single story homes that are mostly made out of wood. But recently Cape Cod style homes, they also tend to be 1.5 story, and actually that's my first time encountering 1.5 story style homes, because when I was researching the Cape Cod style, I kind of discovered that these type of homes, it's kind of common to build them as 1.5 stories. And honestly, I've been studying architecture for like a long time, and it's my first time to encounter 1.5 story homes. So 1.5 story, that terminology specifically, I was like, okay, at least I learned something new doing this build, which is great. Cause I think that's really awesome, being able to take something from this. Anyway, so, let's see here. Yeah, I just had to build it, you guys. And this is probably a little bit surprising for you guys, but this build, it's a little bit normal compared to what I usually do on my channel. Usually I do some crazy, outrageous, over the top, colorful things, but to start off 2017, I felt like it was an appropriate build to do something very normal, very fundamental, because yes, I have done many crazy builds before, but nothing really too fundamental. I'd like to be able to show you guys one day, my take on like a typical mansion, my take on a family home, those type of things, which I think are very fundamental. And I think that every simmer needs to have it in their body of work, because I think that, realistically speaking, a lot of people are going to be able to use these type of homes in their games. And that's really one thing that I really wanted to, achieve, is that I really wanted people to be able to incorporate this in their game easily and actually play in it in a way that would be very, it would be very much in tune to what the Sims 4 gameplay is. So I used very minimal move objects. I used mostly move objects for the landscaping and nothing else. A little bit in the interior as well, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, you guys can see that this house is indeed a quote unquote 1.5 story house. I mean, to be honest, it's just a 2-story house, but the upper floor is actually built on the roof. And actually, that's another kind of aspect or a characteristic of Cape Cod homes, is that, 1.5 story Cape Cod homes, the second floor is usually built on a roof, which is quite fun. What actually inspired me to do this is kind of reminiscing over Christmas and over the New Year's. I was kind of reminiscing The Sims 2 and how much I miss it and how much of a great time I had playing it as like a teenager. And I remember one of my favorite homes in The Sims 2 is the Cape Cod Classic. And that's pretty much where this build started. You know, I was like, okay, Cape Cod Classic. I Googled it just to remember what it looked like. And the one really awesome thing that I remembered about it was that the second floor was built on a roof. And I was like, this is awesome, because the Cape Cod Classic, it was actually really cheap of a house. And it was one house that I always used in my gameplays. And just reminiscing about The Sims 2 make me feel so good. You know, it makes my heart pitter patter. It was such a great time in my life. I didn't have to worry about college and all that stuff. So yeah, anyway. Okay, so we just moved lots actually, and this is so interesting because I feel like out of all my builds, this is the one house where I probably moved houses the most. I think I moved a total of 4 times. So we first had this house in Newcrest, and then I moved it to Willow Creek, and then I moved it to Windenburg, the island in Windenburg, and then it just wasn't working for me because that island, it doesn't have any pathways, doesn't have any roads. So I moved it back to Willow Creek, and then finally when I packaged this for the gallery, I moved it back to the very first lot that I built it in Newcrest, because I felt like that one had great lighting and stuff. So yeah. So right now we're already working on the interior actually. So this is the great room, and the great room is a combination of the living room and the kitchen / informal dining room. And yes, I have millions of reference images on Cape Cod homes, and I noticed that in their kitchens they would have this like divider column thing, that kind of, I don't know, column divider counter. It's like a medley of those things. So I tried to recreate it. I really like that actually. Cause honestly I could have went with what I wanted for the interior, but I'm so grateful that I took like a couple of minutes to actually Google and check Pinterest for some actual reference images on how Cape Cod home interiors are built, because I learned a lot. And I'm not sure if this is Cape Cod specific interior or just Americana themed, but you know, I've seen a lot of Cape Cod interiors that have this divider thing, so I did incorporate that into this build, and I really love how this great room turned out. So basically half of it is a kitchen, and the other half is the dining room. And originally I was debating whether I wanted to have black accent columns and arches, or white. But in the end, I did go for white because, I don't know why. I felt like the white looked a little bit better. I think that the black was just a little bit too severe for this look that I was going for. But yeah, most of the color scheme in the house is actually black and white and blues. I did go for that nautical theme because of course it's Cape Cod. I also discovered that Cape Cod is apparently where like the first settlers arrived, or somewhere around there, which I didn't know. And you guys know how much of a history savvy person I am, so it was a great learning experience for me. This is another one of those builds. Honestly, like all of my recent builds usually start off as something that's, you know, I tell myself, okay, you're gonna take it easy for this one. I'm not gonna be too over the top and too serious about it. But you know, this is another one of those examples where it was expecting it to be easy, but it just turned out a lot more elaborate and a lot more overblown than I was initially expecting. But that's okay. I think it says a lot about the quality that I put into my work and just the effort that I put into research and making sure that I deliver a good quality work for you guys, or a good quality output or something. I don't know. It's just By the time I had like 20 pins on Pinterest, and I like filled up an entire folder of reference images, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm taking this too far. But you know what? That's always a good thing though, to do your research and to know your work, because that's actually one thing that I really like about my YouTube channel, is that I can share information with people. I can share some of my inspiration and my knowledge to people, and at the same time I can learn from other people as well. So yeah. Anyway, back to the build. Okay, so like I said, we have a little bit of a nautical theme. Nothing too crazy, no anchors or fish all over the place, but definitely with the navy blues and the white combinations, I feel like it does give off that nautical theme. I love how this room has huge 3x3 tile doors. I think it's great. I love how it opens up to the backyard, but I will replace those doors because they're a little bit big for this room. I will replace them with that door actually right now that we're looking at. The kind of the double doors look very French, and I believe they came with probably Get Together or something, just throwing in a couple of clutter items. I don't know why, but I recently am using that lemon bowl or lemon jar. I've been using that quite a lot in my recent builds. I don't know, I've grown a liking to it or whatever. So yeah. I really love how I was able to incorporate that kind of informal dining area in the kitchen. I think that it turned out really well. I feel like it's my first time to do that in a build, so I think it actually turned out really well. Also, another item that I've been reusing a lot in my recent builds is that plant. Actually, I believe it also came with Get to Work. I'm not sure though, don't quote me on that, but or probably, I don't know, Get to Work or Get Together. But yeah, you guys will also see me use that poof or ottoman all the time, especially underneath end tables. I don't know what, it's just such a fun item. I love how it brings such a fresh look to the space, and yeah, it's great. I love using that rug. Actually, pretty much all the rooms in this build have that one rug. It's the same rug, it's just different sizes, in different colors, and there is this nice little coat rack in the entrance area because I felt like, people would need that. Especially when we have seasons, when the Sims kind of need to change into their outerwear, they would definitely have that coat rack beneficial. Or probably when seasons comes out, they would probably release like an entirely new coat rack. So, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so right now we are working on the formal dining room, and this is actually pretty cool. I really like how there is a formal dining room because I feel like that's such an American thing. We don't really have dinner parties in the Philippines where, we don't really have a need for a formal dining room. So most homes usually just have one dining room. It's usually built close to the kitchen, and it's pretty cool. It's cultural diversity, and we love that. And also I used a lot of curtains. I don't usually use a lot of curtains, but pretty much all the windows in this house have curtains in them. And oh my gosh, you guys don't know how much I went out of my comfort zone for this build. I really tried to do my best and kind of bring something new for you guys and something just unexpected. And yeah, you guys know how much I love my symmetry, how much I love all those stuff, and this build, it's very asymmetrical. It's very contemporary. It's very like suburban contemporary and whatever. And I actually really liked how it turned out in the end because it's being able to make something out of your comfort zone. I feel like it shows that you're growing and you're learning. And I definitely learned a lot from other simmers and other simmers' works. But didn't necessarily look at just one build and I was like, okay, I'm gonna copy that. I looked at the entire kind of body of work that exists on YouTube and pretty much kind of synthesized what I wanted to do for this build. And there's lots of suburban contemporary homes out there. So it was an uphill battle to kind of figure out how to bring something new to the table and to make something relevant. But you know what? I think I was able to do it. So I'm really, really happy with how this build turned out. And yeah, once again, I'm super, super proud of it. If I wasn't, you guys wouldn't be seeing it. So yeah. So right now we are just working on the, kind of the public guest bathroom over here. All of the bathrooms in the house have a shower and a toilet and a sink, of course. So they're all full bathrooms. And pretty much this is the one where it's located on the ground level. It's the one where the guests would use when they're visiting and all that stuff. Actually, I've been talking about a lot of random stuff in this build, and I haven't really talked about the family that I wanted to live here. So this house is actually built for a family of 3 people. It's built for a family that lives here, and they are basically like a middle-aged couple that lives with their senior citizen mother. And the couple has a daughter or a son or whatever, a child that doesn't live here, but kind of comes here once in a while for a vacation. So right now we are working on the elderly person's bedroom, or at least like, you know, when I was building this, I was envisioning this to be an elderly person's bedroom. So this is grandma's bedroom. I'm just gonna call it grandma's bedroom for the sake of this build, because that's what I was imagining. You guys can easily make this into like a butler's bedroom or whatever. So yeah. But grandma, she loves to cook. She loves to garden. So being a senior citizen that she is, it's best to have her bedroom on the ground level. So that's definitely why this bedroom is located on the ground level, of course. So grandma, her bedroom also overlooks the garden area. Her bed is placed right next to that window, which is really great. It's great for her to look at and see all the plants that she's been taking care of. Actually, grandma's bedroom, it was built really quickly, nothing too crazy. And it turned out great. And right now we are working on the sunroom. It's basically like a gardening / kind of sunroom area. You know, if the sun is too harsh or if it's raining and if you want to get some vitamin A, you would just go ahead and sit in this room and maybe, you know, drink some refreshment or maybe read a book. That's basically what I had envisioned when I was designing this room. So there is a nice little, there's a nice little sitting nook, and there's also like a corner for gardening stuff, which is pretty cool actually. I really like that. There's 2 gardening plots in this room in particular, and I believe I place off camera, I place, a chrysanthemum, I think, and an orchid. I think. I'm not sure. But I placed flowers for both of the planter boxes. So yeah. And just fiddling in with the lighting. I wanted it to be a lot brighter. I don't know why this room turned out really dim. There's something about the lighting that kind of makes this room dim. So regardless of how many lights I put into it, it just comes out really dim. So yeah, there goes those 2 planter boxes and that one kind of refreshment thing that came with, I believe, what's that expansion pack? Outdoor something, garden, backyard stuff. Yeah, backyard stuff, I think. So we are now working on the second level, and the second level has an additional 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. Of course, it's where the master bedroom is, and also, a nice little landing space for the staircase and all that stuff. the landing actually turned out really, really large. And for the master bedroom and bath, it's the biggest room in the house, but it had such an unusual shape, especially like the bedroom itself. It had like such a weird shape. It was so tricky to actually make a floor plan for it and furnish it because it was just kind of a very difficult layout to build on, but it turned out well. You make the best of what you have. And yeah, I did expand actually the bathroom a little bit. You guys just saw me put in an extra couple of tiles over there and add an extra dormer window because I felt like the master bathroom definitely needed a lot more space. So yeah. Also, I'm adding in these curtains, which I will remove later on. For grandma's room though, I will keep them because grandma has like a glass door, and I was like, okay, she definitely needs some privacy. So if she wanted it, she can just draw the curtains, and there you go, instant privacy. So yeah, I decided to go for a kind of purplish brown color for the bedroom walls. And by the way, I just have to say that I love those floor wooden planks that came with City Living. They're so beautiful. They're so shiny. I love the color brown that they are in. Both brown colors I think look amazing, and I think it turned out really well. So the master bedroom is actually pretty basic. The bed is pretty, it's pretty normal, pretty much, but it's pretty normal. The bed, the reason why I chose that color specifically is because I kind of really liked how it had that kind of peachy pink color, which kind of matched a little bit or tied in with the wall color. And right here, I really wanted to incorporate like an archway area because I kind of wanted to separate like the bed from like, the rest of the room, but it didn't work out because it was messing up with the roofs and stuff. So I just decided to go against it and not really do that. And then I was having trouble actually incorporating like a closet. So basically I just put the closet in the bathroom. Is that weird? But yeah, for the master bedroom, it doesn't have a closet. The closet's located in the bathroom. So yeah, let's just deal with it. And then the reason for that is that I wanted this wall to be free of any item because I wanted to put like a TV. And initially I really wanted to put like a vanity table. It's one of those that came with luxury. I keep forgetting the name of these expansion packs. No, the vanity table that I'm talking about, it came with vintage glamour stuff. But once again, it didn't work out. I really wanted to have a flat screen TV. So there we go. There's the TV right there. I will fiddle a little bit with the items there and replace it and maybe throw in a couple of new items because I felt like that lamp, it just didn't work. It was kind of covering the TV and stuff. So yeah, really struggling with putting appropriate clutter for this. And I actually stuck and kept that trash can over there in the corner because I felt like that made it look really, really realistic. And for over here in this like little hallway thing, I decided to throw in a nice little bookshelf. And I know there's already like a million bookshelves in this house, but I felt like having a bookshelf for the master bedroom was pretty cool because, the the owners of the house, they can have like a private place to keep their favorite books or the books that they're currently reading. If they don't want to walk all the way downstairs or in the hallway to read a book, they can just grab one from the bookshelf and read in that nice little reading corner that I put there in this corner that leads to the balcony of the master bedroom. So for this hallway, I didn't really do a lot of crazy stuff with it. I just kept it really normal and nothing too crazy happening. I just kept with the navy blue that we had downstairs and basically just threw in a bunch of bookshelves and all that stuff. I did at some point try to incorporate like a radio in the hallway, but it just didn't work. It kind of looked out of place, so I didn't keep it. And right here, I wanted to put something interesting, so I made like a shelf, but I felt like it really cluttered the space a little bit too much. So I will move the shelf in the hallway and it's gonna be there. It's just there. You know, I'd love to have like some family pictures in it or something, but you just can't do that. Or maybe you can actually. There is a photography skill that came with, that came with Get to Work. So that might be a thing, but yeah, it's a pretty basic general hallway. Lots of places to read and lots of awesome stuff to read in the bookshelves, I guess. And this is like the one time where I moved this house to Windenburg. And yeah, we are furnishing I don't know why my commentary became so stiff so suddenly. But I have no attention span, so that's probably why. But yeah, right now we're working on the master bathroom and it has the same color of wall as the master bedroom, and I felt like that made it a little bit more cohesive. Just throwing in some random items over here, some random bathroom themed items. So I guess it's not really random. But yeah, nothing too crazy. It's the same items that we have in all the bathrooms. So we have some nice little sinks and the same toilet with a tissue paper and the same shower as well. And then over here, it was such a large bathroom. This is the one kind of bathroom that's for the guests or whatever, or like for the child or something. It's pretty much for anyone, to be honest. But it turned out really big, but I did throw in like a couple interesting things there, like an ottoman and like a laundry basket, just to make it feel a little bit more realistic. And right now we're working on the quote unquote guest bedroom / bedroom for the child that's not in this house. So the child is in their maybe 18 to late teens, early 20s, and they don't live here because they're currently in university and they have their own apartment in the city and things like that. So that's basically just a room for the child to stay in when they're spending some time with a family during the holidays or stuff like that. So yeah. And then we are furnishing the balconies, and the balconies are actually quite large in this build, and I made sure to kind of have a lot of activities in the balconies. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to tell you guys that at some point in my recording, I actually lost a couple of minutes worth of recording because my recorder just refused to record anything. So like maybe 10 to 20 minutes of my recording was just lost, and that's probably why some of the stuff here, you guys can see I'm just speeding through it all because I did it already and I just lost it, and I'm just like, okay, it happens to me too often. But for me, still, my current recording software, Camtasia, it's pretty reliable actually. So yeah, even though I do lose some recordings, I kind of predict how to use it. It's my preferred recording software for sure. So yeah. Anyway, we are working on the backyard now, which was such a struggle for me. You guys will see that the backyard is so different from, how I normally do it. Usually when I do the landscaping, I usually go for something that's a little bit stiff, a little bit classical, and a little bit geometric and stuff. There you guys see me replacing all those doors and stuff. But yeah, for the landscaping, I went really organic with it. I went really like wildernessy, if that makes any sense. Yeah, wilderness. The reason why I chose that word is because there's just a ton of trees in this build, and they're huge trees as well. They're like, there is a couple of oak trees. I think there's probably 3 or 4 normal oak trees. There's the one oak tree that came with Bohemian. Oh no, is it? No, it's like the Bohemian oak tree with like the lights, and then there's a willow tree, and there's a couple of smaller trees. There's a lot of trees basically, and it was just very different for me, but it was a great thing to work on because you know, it's very different, definitely out of my comfort zone, and I think it actually turned out really well. Also, this house, initially I was only planning to fence off like part of the house, but in the end, I decided that that was just crap. It didn't look good at all. It looked really weird. So I decided to kind of fence off the entire lot, which is not something I do in many of my builds. Usually I just leave them without a fence, but I found this really cool fence that came with, I have no idea what it came with. Maybe outdoor retreat? No, maybe get together probably. It came with outdoor living, I think, if that's what that icon is. You guys can see I went with this like really tall picket fence, and it actually turned out really well. I will stick with that. I really liked how much coverage and privacy it gives us to the back, and this is a later addition to this build. I really wasn't intending to do this, but I made a gazebo and it was really cute. I love how we have that effect of the corbels and the columns. It just made it look really romantic and really awesome. So I will actually keep that gazebo, and it's just really cute, and it's really nice and awesome and romantic, and there is a wind vane on top of it just to make it a little bit more Americana looking, if that makes any sense. So for the swimming pool, I actually added this kind of awkward appendage to it that made it look like it had like a Mickey Mouse ear or something, but I wanted to put in like one of those tables that had like an umbrella on it. I really wanted these tables to be in the build because I just love how it was able to sit, I think, 6 Sims or something. It was a large circular table, and I really, really, really wish that we had that table without the umbrella. Because I think that that would be really, really useful for indoors, or maybe even the you know, the gazebo thing. I will put like a table on the gazebo off camera because I can't forget it. I'll also put like a barbecue thing and some additional clutter stuff on the balconies and stuff, just because I forgot it, and I wrapped up this build without really remembering that I had an entire gazebo to furnish. So yeah, I love how the gazebo kind of comes out of the trees. I like how kind of it's like partially covered with trees, and there's a lot of trees here, you guys. So I had to make sure that none of the trees and none of the plants were intersecting with the inside, because that just bothers me so much every time the plants would have like leaves or branches inside the house. I'm just like, okay, it's just, why? EA should really incorporate like a feature where you could cut off trees or plant parts that come into the interior of the building. But yeah, this is where like I was able to furnish some stuff without it being recorded, unfortunately. So it's nothing too crazy. Most of the landscaping is going to be recorded. You guys really didn't miss out on a lot. But yeah, so for this kind of corner of the house, this is basically Grandma's corner. So Grandma, she loves to garden, and this is basically an area where I placed a couple of gardening plots. Initially, I wanted to have those large square plots, but they were just too big. We didn't have enough space for them, so I just decided to go for a couple of planter bowls. And also I placed in 2 trees in this area. There is going to be a pear tree and an apple tree, and also I believe a strawberry plant and a carrot plant. So yeah. And of course I'm just keeping in with the landscaping. It's very let's see here. The landscaping, I wanted it to be very I don't really know how to describe it, fairy tale-esque. I don't know. I wanted it to be something that looks like somebody really put their time and effort and love into the landscaping. And of course, Grandma, since she really doesn't have anything to do around the house, she focused a lot of her energy and time on the landscaping and on the gardening. That's why the gardening looks very beautiful. It's very detailed, and it's very, there's a lot of attention to detail because Grandma, she just loves to garden and she just loves to spend time outdoors and taking care of her flowers. And I'm making use of some really nice foliage that came with romantic garden stuff. They look very beautiful and they're perfect for this kind of Americana themed build, a little bit traditional. So yeah. Oh my gosh, I really, really love how the gardening turned out. It's all about the gardening for me. I'm still debating whether I am going to put in some ground texture underneath of the plant. I might experiment that after I do this recording because I haven't yet uploaded this on the gallery. I will probably upload this on the gallery as soon as I finish this recording, so surprise, it's already on the gallery. In case you guys didn't know, you guys can actually download all my stuff. All the links for that are usually in the video description. So yeah, people keep asking me, if they can download my builds. And of course they can. I provide links in the video description. If for some reason I'm unable to upload the builds, if I'm busy, if I'm away from my computer, if I don't have internet, I will usually put it in the description as well. And in case you guys are wondering, I'm so sorry if I'm unable to reply to your guys' comments. I get a lot of comments and I read them all. I just don't want to give you like a half-hearted reply, I don't really want to. I want to think about what I want to say and I want to really connect with you. So if I don't give you a reply, it's because I just don't want to give you a fast, random reply. So I'll try to reply to as many comments as I can. And this is actually something that happens to me quite often, but I've had people comment on my videos about really important things and I really want to reply to them, but some people have replies disabled. So if you're kind of awaiting a reply from me, make sure that you enable that in your videos, in your comments, because some comments just do not allow me to reply to them. And that kind of sucks, especially when I spent like maybe 10 minutes working on like an essay type of comments, like a paragraph, and then I hit post and then it's gonna tell me cannot comment because this person doesn't allow replies. So you guys please keep that in mind if you guys want to see me reply to your comments. So working on the landscaping, more landscaping. I don't know why. A lot of people mention that landscaping, it's not their favorite aspect of the Sims 4 building because it's just basically placing in a couple of plants repetitively, but I actually enjoy landscaping in The Sims 4 a lot. I don't know why. It's very calming for me. It's very therapeutic. Actually, that makes sense. When I was studying in my color rendering class, way back when I was like in my first or second year of college, I had a professor, I mentioned out loud, because I usually speak my mind. We had this activity where we were asked to do like a watercolor of like a garden thing. And I mentioned that out loud. I think this is the exact thing that I say, but I mentioned that I love painting trees because it's just so calming for me. And then my professor tells me that, that's because it's therapeutic. And I'm like, oh, okay. it's therapeutic. That's why people look at trees and they feel calmed or something. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, you guys. It's just something that I learned while I was in that class, and it's pretty cool actually. It was a nice kind of trivia, and I think that kind of explains why I really enjoy landscaping in The Sims 4 a lot, because even though it gets repetitive, it's apparently therapeutic, or at least that's what my professor says. I'm pretty sure she is she's right. She worked for Norman Foster. Lord Norman Foster is a big deal in the architectural scene. He is a Pritzker Prize winner. And she worked for him in Germany, I think. So she's pretty cool. Anyway, back to the build. I took a little bit of a break here because I was feeling really parched and I had to drink some water. So I quickly ran to the kitchen and just left this thing unpaused for a little bit. And there we go. We are back. I really wanted to have this spot over here with a little bit of landscaping, but I didn't go with it in the end because I just felt like it was too much. So I did put like some trees instead. And right here, just right next to the pool area, I put in these kind of lounge chairs. Well, quote unquote lounge chairs, because they're not really lounge chairs. They're just a combination of like an ottoman and a chair. But yeah, there we go. It kind of makes it feel a little bit more united and kind of makes it feel a little bit more cozy and relaxed. And I really didn't do that much landscaping, especially on the areas where there are trees, because I didn't want to overwhelm them. Like at the back of the gazebo, I was kind of contemplating whether I wanted to put in some flowers and stuff over there, but I didn't decide on it because there's already like a willow tree, there's already like an oak tree, there's too much stuff. So basically just on the areas where I felt like it needed to have like some cluster of flowers, I put it there. Oh my gosh, you guys, at night though, this is so magical. It's like a fairy house or something. It's just so magical. Like the lighting effect in The Sims 4 and how the lighting spreads is so beautiful. It's just so gorgeous. And of course, they didn't flood everything with lights. There's areas where it's really dark. There's areas where it's really bright. And I think that just really brings in the dramatic lighting and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And right here, I wanted to have like, kind of an entrancey area, but I didn't go with it because I felt like it really wasn't necessary. And right now we are deciding on the traits of this lot. So for the first time, actually, since the traits were released, I chose 3 traits, and it is the homey trait, the great soil, and also the one where it gives you good cooking skill. It's like the kitchen one or whatever, but it looks like that is going to be it for the speed build. So let's go ahead and cut into the screenshots of the floor plans so you guys can see what's up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my commentary right here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this build. It was such a great build to start off the year, and I can't wait to do more builds for you guys in 2017, okay? So like I said, that is going to be it for the speed build. Once again, please don't forget to hit that like, favorite, and subscribe button if you guys want to support the channel, because it really helps out a lot, okay? You all have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.